Hey everybody, as you can see, it's summer vacation around here, but I thought I would go back and make the videos that didn't quite get finished before the end of the UMDCYL League. So today I want to talk about the challenge number 5, obstacles. So this little video is going to talk about the obstacle 5 challenge, and then I'll make some recap videos to talk about the last couple matches and the invitational. So sit back and enjoy. So the challenge here was that there were now obstacles in the game field. Okay, as you can see, we've got these red pillars or obstacles. And normally, your tank sensors can only detect whether there's another tank, of course, because tanks are the only things that previously could be in your sensors. So normally, if you use the sensor, it would detect a tank, or it would detect a pillar as the same thing. So what that meant is we needed to give your tanks a way to detect the difference between a tank or a pillar. Okay, so the way that you do that is through this code. So normally you might say sensor, you might say 0 sensor, and then fire, let's say. Okay, and that would mean, you know, this is a comment, of course. That would mean, you know, there's a tank in sensor range. Okay, but now the 0 sensor can be triggered by a tank or by a pillar. So we need a way to detect a tank. So the way we would do that is say 0 sensor 1 and then we'd say fire. Okay, so whoops. So there obviously shouldn't be a space here. So 0 sensor fire if, meaning tank, not pillar, in sensor. Okay? And what this single ampersand means is it's called a binary AND. And what that means is it compares the result provided by 0 sensor with binary 1. And if you think of that, binary 1, if let's say we had a 4-bit number, binary 1 would look like this. So if there's a tank, the sensor is going to provide this response. Okay, so binary 1, and this is tank sensor, sensor with tank, we could say. Okay, so that means we see a tank, we're going to shoot at it. But now what if we had a pillar? Okay, so sensor question mark 2 and if there's a pillar, presumably we're going to want to run away. Okay, so set speed. Okay, so that means pillar, please turn. Okay, and the reason that is binary 2 is this binary value. Okay, so the sensor with a pillar is going to also provide this. And works, you can think of it working as like a mathematical problem, right? So if we're doing a binary AND operation, this looks like a, you know, mathematics. So we'd say, or arithmetic, we'd say 0 and 0 equals 0, 0 and 0 equals 0, 1 and 1 is 1, 1 and 1 is true, 0 and 0 is false. So false and false is false. Okay, true and true is true in the case of 1. So this is how binary 1 or binary 2 tells us the difference between a tank and a pillar. Okay, now you might be wondering, what if I somehow wanted to detect if there was a tank and a pillar? Well, the sensor is going to trigger binary 1 for a tank and binary 2 for a pillar. So we would do something like this: 0 sensor, 3 binary and you know, whatever you want to do here is tank and pillar action, whatever, you know, action you'd want to take, because 0011 is binary 3. So if we ampersand binary 3, that's a sensor with tank and pillar. Okay, so again, the idea here is that if there's a tank in the sensor is going to return the first bit true. If there's a pillar, it's going to return the second bit true. And naturally, if they're both present, both bits will be true. So you can use binary 1, which you compare with the binary AND, binary 2, and binary 3, if you wanted to do that. Okay? It's also easy enough if the whole binary thing is confusing. You can just think about 0 sensor 1, and it's a tank, 0 sensor 2, and it's a pillar. Okay? So let's see what this looks like if we look at a match. Now initially, I wish I had saved some of these matches, but initially when we set the tanks loose on these pillars, they were just drawn to them like moths to a flame, right? Because they just thought they were tanks and they would just run and try to shoot and shoot, but of course they can't destroy the pillars. Some tanks weren't updated, so they still treat pillars this way, but most tanks were. So let's watch and keep your eye on this black tank here. It's going to find this tank, it's going to shoot it, and then it's going to avoid the pillar. Okay, so here it goes, shoots it, and turns to avoid the pillar. And red just teleported in. You can see red just turned away from that pillar, right? See it, sensor hit it, and it turned away. Green is going to turn away from the pillar here. Oh, it turns, and it beats red. Okay, but if we back up, you'll notice the turquoise tank here is going to find this pillar, and it clearly doesn't know how to determine the difference between a tank and a pillar, because it's just trying to go towards the pillar just as if it were a tank. So that's an example of a tank that can't tell the difference. Okay, so that's obstacles and how obstacles work. Of course, we already had this challenge, so those of you that participated in UMDCYL, you'll already know this, but now at least it's here for posterity. So I hope you had fun, and stay tuned because I'll be putting out some recap videos next. Thanks a lot. Bye.